Boss Neff will be okay, right? I know she wanted me to stay at my post, but screw it. I'll look off early and go see how she is. If she's still not feeling well, I might have to go ask Lauma to have a look at her. What is that in reference to? Is that like post-Archon quest? I saw Boss Neff sneak into the back room, looking shifty. I think she grabbed something. Could she have been getting some money to pay my wages? That must be it. Last time she promised to find me someone who can get a new pair of glasses made. Maybe she's getting ready to buy them for me. Boss Neff, you really are the bestest, most awesomest boss ever. Open it and take a look. A chest that contains some part of the Curatorium of Secrets finances. Perhaps Neffa would like to inspect the chest. We've been making a decent profit lately. Our shrew might be in line for an extra meal. You open the chest. Oh my god! 100,000 Mora? I'll come back and check again later. Oh my fucking god. You can just regularly get money if you have Neffa. Your letter. They appear to be letters that have been sent to the Curatorium of Secrets. There are letters that require Neffa's attention. Seems like there's another matter for me to attend to. Read. Did you find something, Ashru? Meow. Meow. Huh. So, you went outside gallivanting with your Hoda again yesterday. You didn't close the window properly when you got back. At least she didn't make a scene this time. It looks like she's starting to learn. Alright, let's leave the commission in this letter to her. Some customers are in too much of a hurry. Such a pity. A customer who likes playing games, despite showing no talent for them. Crying your eyes out while discussing the commission, sobbing, "No price is too much," and then revealing your price and having it conveniently be exactly what the commission's worth. Not a more or more or less. Making a show of losing control over your emotions and taking a sudden rational turn when it comes time to pay. Forget it. The sum has been paid, so there's nothing for it but to follow up. We'll settle everything in a few days' time. What's this letter doing here? Did your Hoda forget to put it away? Please help. I really want to have a kitty like Ashru. Lady Neffa, can you tell me where you got him? The place I found Ashru. I very much doubt you'd want to go there. Give it a couple of days, and I'll have your Hoda pass this letter on to the Adventurers Guild. Looking for cats is their area of expertise. Look at this. Oh! Curatorium of Secrets characters can use their intelligence gathering abilities to obtain intel from certain nodkrai residents. To certain circumstances, obtaining intel can unlock special dialogue options. Oh my god, this is the whole thing. Up to 6 pieces of intel each week. After obtaining intel, head to the Adventurers Guild to trade it with Catherine for classified information. New intel quests, complete some rewards, unlock new quests, really, okay. Jesus. I see, you press E near someone. Student Snowsnow Royal Military Academy, currently skipping classes under pretense of medical leave, currently compiling a set of nodkrai power rankings. No more lies. Which are entirely non-credible. Wait, hold on. Can't hide the truth. Former member of the Adventurers Guild, treasure hunter.
Capable enough, but not exactly the brightest candle in the box. I doubt he has the nerve to stick his neck out.
Academia researcher, apparent scholar, in truth well-read and well-spoken only in nonsense, author of criticism on pseudo-Remuria history. In any case, Sesnaya does in fact exist. No more lies. Former tea merchant from Niue.
Merchant this far from home who's taking to nodkrai like a fish to water. Definitely worth keeping an eye on.
Great wisdom can be found in the smallest of objects.
RC Phantom Agent.
Like this little agent from the Marachose Phantom is having another fruitless day.
Worked with Snitchergrad's troupe. Her makeup designs are highly praised among the Snitcher nobility. Enjoys a certain level of recognition in Fontaine's fashion circles. Plans to make your Hoda her beauty something. Tell exchange. Okay. Wait, can we pick? Oh, okay, we can pick. So I guess we just... Okay, yeah, we can pick whatever. Haunted, fuck it. Haunted pirate shipwreck. Treasure hunters attempting to scavenge riches from the wreckage of a pirate ship claim to have been attacked by a ghost. While the Eye of Krai is no stranger to rumours of haunted sightings, there has never been a documented case of ghosts assaulting the living. Perhaps questioning Ilmari, who often fishes nearby, might reveal more information. A bunch of treasure hunters were attacked by a ghost while plundering the wreckage of a pirate ship. Sounds like something straight out of a trashy Pulp Fiction novel. Not to mention, nothing they say adds up. Who knows how much of it is true? You've heard of that pirate ship before, I take it? Sure, I was only little back then, but the Atlas is plenty famous. If you don't behave, the Shield Maiden Lavisa and Lunatic Grettir will feed you to the fishes. The grown-ups used to say things like that to scare us. Obviously, I wasn't afraid. In that case, you're the perfect candidate for this commission. Huh? Alright, it's a little far out, but I'll investigate. There are more than a few wrecks in that stretch of water. People sometimes find treasure there. Maybe this time I might... Don't let your lust for treasure get in the way of your work. Of course not, Boss Neff. I'll go there, investigate, and come right back. Judging by your clothes, another one on the hunt for treasure, huh? You lot never seem to tire of rummaging around these parts. You've got a good eye for people. I heard a few fellow treasure hunters ran into trouble around here. They're running around telling anyone who'll listen they were attacked by ghosts. I don't believe in all that, so I came here to see what the deal is. 'Cause if I happen to stumble across any undiscovered treasure, you won't hear me complaining. So tell me, this talk of ghosts attacking people, what's all that about? There's ghosts here, alright. Huh? Real ghosts? But I ain't seen them attacking no one. I've sure seen a person attacking people, though. In truth, that one's as ghoulish as they come. He might still be alive, but I think he died inside a long time ago. Huh? Surely you're not saying... Don't look at me like I'm crazy. Never heard of the Atlas? Well, duh. But I heard it sank way back when. In fact, didn't it go into the drink somewhere around here? I heard the most valuable treasure on it was a token that could lead someone to Reed Miller's great treasure. It seems like you've heard quite a lot. Not long back, there was a traveller with golden hair and a companion dressed in white who passed through here. That token left with them. Huh? Is he talking about... Forget it. There's work to do. We call that professional competence. So you trying to say those treasure hunters getting beaten up has something to do with the Atlas? Exactly. It was a tragic shipwreck, but not without survivors. One of those who made it back to shore was Hark the crackjaw. He's the last man standing of the Atlas's infamous pirate crew. I heard he left for Snezhnograd, but recently returned as part of a caravan. Then he must have stirred up some fuss in Nashatown and forced the caravan to kick him out. That day, those treasure hunters were searching around the wreckage of the Atlas. Crackjaw spotted them and gave them a good hiding. She was his ship. She sank, sure, but that bond must still be strong. Exactly. Folks said he didn't dare sail far again after the Atlas went down. Kinda puts a stop to you being a pirate, that sort of thing. But for someone like that, going straight ain't easy. All those people the Atlas once visited aren't just gonna let it go. But that's the life he chose. He only has himself to blame. Everyone strays from the straight and narrow at some point. What matters is how we set ourselves right. Hark used to be a helmsman himself, but he never corrected his course. So, this Hark guy came back here after causing all that trouble in Nashatown? I guess this is where it all ended, and where it'll all begin. Chalk another one up on his list of wrong choices. They say old habits die hard. He hurt a lot of people around these parts, and then, like a slippery eel, he vanished without a trace. Word is that someone's put a bounty on his head over at the flagship in Nashatown. Lots of people casting nets, yet each one's coming up empty. You don't catch much fish, but it seems very little else escapes your hook. Sharp tongue you've got there, little miss. Seeing as I like you, here's something else from my hook. The wreckage of the Atlas is over that way. Feel free to go test your luck there. Test my luck? And when he jumps out from nowhere to attack, I take it you'll have my back. Of course not. I'm just a fisherman. What use would I be in a fight? Look, I'll take you part of the way there and then point you the rest of the way. After all, it's not like I'm catching anything around here. This guy is a little bit sus. I feel like he has a secret identity. Fair enough. It's not like I can't run away if things get too hot to handle. There aren't many people who can catch me in full flight. The wreckage of the Atlas lies not far from here, to the east. Looking at what's left, it's hard to tell this was ever a pirate ship. Undiscovered treasure? Better not get caught up in fantasies. We've read this before. As part of that quest, so I'm not going to read it again. If Hark's involved in this somehow, this must be the Atlas after all. If he really does jump out and attack me, would that be a work-related injury? Would Boss Neff have to compensate me? Looks like there aren't any useful clues around here. No point continuing. The disturbance caused by theft. There had been a major commotion in Nashatown due to a stolen goods case during the peripatetic Circle caravan stay, one that even led to death. The caravan has since left Nashatown, but asking the well-informed messengers, Hiram and Kuriaka, may yield more detailed information about the incident. The peripatetic Circle case. If I'm remembering it correctly, it was never solved. That's right. The caravan's goods were stolen. The prime suspect not only denied everything, but also beat a man to death before fleeing. Word is that both the suspect and the man he killed were pirates, and that they'd been companions for a decade without any sort of trouble. It's sad to think how things ended up. But Boss Nev, this sort of thing happens in nodkrai all the time. Just because it's common doesn't mean it's trivial. You should know, clues often hide in the smallest of details. Yehoda, go and ask the messengers. They should be able to provide you with a wealth of overlooked information. On it, Boss Neff. Leave it to me. Kuriaka, Hiram, how's life been treating you? What's this now? Small talk? From you? Isn't your style, kid? You looking for info, or for us to go acquire it? Ignore him. Thanks to you, life's the same as always. So what's up? Something we can help you with? Yep, wanted to ask about that incident with the peripatetic circle. It was a big deal at the time. They say the thief was never caught. Well, that depends on who you think was the thief. That Hark fellow, who was under suspicion, was adamant it wasn't him. He made a big fuss, and in the ensuing fight, he accidentally killed a fellow caravan member called Yuhani. I heard they were originally crewmates on a pirate ship. There was an accident, and the ship sank. Went down with most of the crew. After that, the two of them signed on with the peripatetic circle. After killing Yuhani, Hark fled the scene. Everyone was shocked by what happened. They were all crewmates. And they were crewmates! And Hark had always had his back before. Apparently, Hark ended up in the northern part of Lempo Isle, still making trouble. Gotta say, I never feel like I can let my guard down when I pass through that area. I'll say, no other messengers dare take that isolated path through the passage. They do everything they can to avoid the danger as they imagine it. Not that it helps. Good thing nothing gay has ever happened on a ship. So true. Straightest place on Earth. Spot on. That said, I haven't heard anything about him recently. So maybe he's gone somewhere new to let the heat die down. The way you tell it, sounds like plenty of people think he's the thief. Of course, and not without reason. Not long after the goods went missing, he was in the flagship, buying rounds and treating people to meals. What's more, he was boasting about sealing a deal with some big trade partner, claiming to be a big shot in the caravan and getting bonuses up the wazoo. To hear him talk, the future was rosy. But according to people in the circle, none of that had anything to do with him. If he didn't seal the partnership, then the bonuses he was boasting about had to be a lie, which means he must have gotten the money from somewhere else. That's all hearsay, but yeah, it's not hard to see why people would blame the former pirate when things go missing. I won't lie, his history played a big part in the accusations. But don't forget, Yohani was a pirate too, and his attitude was a whole lot different. When faced with suspicion, Hark didn't hesitate to point the finger at Yohani. He said he's seen him pilfering the goods with his own eyes, bit by bit. He made sure to loudly speculate that there might be evidence at Yohani's residence in Nasha Town. Yohani swore it wasn't him, and no one else was buying it either. Let me guess, they all thought Hark had planted evidence at Yohani's place? Exactly. Even though they never found any evidence of Hark selling the stolen goods afterward, he did kill Yohani and then fled the scene. The whole thing's one giant mess. It still feels like something's missing. You're not wrong, kid. Rusty metal doesn't stick together out of kindness or concern, but out of fear. But fear isn't fire. It can't weld two parts into one whole. The peripatetic circle's a symbol that binds those without a home, but a rivet made from flawed iron will never hold. It's destined to break the moment it's tested. Corrosion doesn't set in overnight. I wish I understood what that meant. Nevertheless, I feel sorry for the caravan leader. The peripatetic circle's known for not asking its members their backgrounds. They're willing to give fresh starts to those with dark and unspoken secrets. Apparently, for the last decade, Hark was treated just like any other member. So why now? Why did Hark suddenly return to a life of crime after 10 years of the straight and narrow? It can't have been easy to gain a fresh start. Why would he throw all of that away? If it were me... Who knows? Maybe he was never really on the straight and narrow. Maybe he was up to his old tricks the whole time. He just never got caught. Or maybe he just sensed the time was right, and he just wanted to get rid of Yohani. Spend enough time on the streets, and you'll hear all sorts of rumors. Everyone has their own theory they're clinging to. Besides, it's not like Hark himself is in any hurry to set the record straight. Not to mention, even if he isn't guilty of stealing, murder's a worse crime, and there's no way he's watching that stain away. True enough, no matter what came before, he should be made to pay the price for his crimes. Alright, I've asked everything I wanted to ask. I'll let you two get back to work. Thanks for your help. It was nothing. Besides, the Curatorium's been kind to us. It's the least we could do. Stay alert, kid. Don't let that rusty old scrap of metal scratch you. So this time we're investigating a suspicious hermit? Aren't hermits all suspicious by nature? Anyone who runs off to live halfway up a remote mountain can't be entirely normal. People don't change for no reason, regardless of whether those changes are driven by internal or external factors. Besides, that missing merchant raises questions. Huh? But that area's full of dangers. Everyone knows that. Bandits, monsters. There are a million ways a traveling merchant might meet their end out there. Seeing as everyone knows how dangerous it is, don't you think a merchant who regularly passes through would be well prepared? Despite knowing the lay of the land, an experienced merchant just disappeared. Something like that rightly raises suspicion. Yehoda, I'm leaving it to you to visit this suspicious hermit. It's a long road. Make sure you don't stray from the path. Oh, sure thing, Boss Neff. Leave it to me. Hello? Is anybody there? Mr. Derwent? Are you home? Who's there? The name's Yehoda. I'm here from the Curatorium of Secrets. I was wondering if I could ask you a few questions. You can ask from there. I'm ill. Don't expect me to get up for you. How strange. The Conch Gang kids said Mr. Derwent taught them how to read. They said he always spoke softly. His voice is hoarse, but he doesn't sound ill. It sounds like his voice is naturally rough. Are you alright? If it's serious, I could help you find a doctor. No need. I'll be right in a bit. Alright, in that case, you should head to Nasha Town when you're better. Your friends have been worried about you. Why is he not saying anything? I can hear someone walking around in there, but the footsteps are heavy. Have you not been outside much recently? I've been cultivating myself. Yeah, word on the street is that you've recently had a bit of a makeover. Someone was saying they couldn't believe how strong you look. They said you used to look so thin when you were wearing robes. And a mask to block out Kuvaki. Is that the latest fashion? It's to block out the noise. So you can better cultivate yourself? Anyway, there was a merchant who came to visit you not long ago. Do you know where he went? No idea. Alright then. Sorry to bother you. I'm not sure why, but I feel it in my bones. This is getting dangerous. They weren't wrong. This seems like a completely different guy. I can't go back to Boss Neff having only learned so little. I better stay close and investigate the surrounding area. Huh? This looks like it hasn't been completely burned. Half-burned page. That poor, unidentifiable. Like with the other injured adventurers, he had a severe wound on his jaw. Hospitality. He confessed to me about the caravan, hoping to retreat from society under my tutelage. He told me honestly, and without hesitation, about the crimes he had committed. He claimed to no longer embody sin and self-destruction. He had turned a new leaf. Though there was no trace of empathy in his voice, perhaps this was due to a lack of practice. To root out evil thoughts from one's heart is... No matter the mistakes one has made, shaped by the malevolence of fate, everyone deserves the chance to choose the path of good. No one is born to commit evil, and it is forgiveness, understanding, and love that truly heal the soul. The belief in an eye for an eye will only leave the world bloodied and blind. I heard Mr. Derwent would take in injured adventurers. This seems to have happened recently. Why would he try to burn these? I can't hear anything. Is he resting, or...? It's about time I left. It seems like only yesterday there were plenty of bounties going on at the flagship. Now there's only one left. Apparently, that's all down to the Traveler. But even she hasn't been able to crack this last one. Well, there really aren't any leads. But just because something isn't written on the bounty board doesn't mean it doesn't exist. What's this? A sudden flash of inspiration? I'm going to ask Lizek. With all my experience, I should be able to get something useful out of him. I'll leave it to you then. You can count on me, Boss Neff. Details on the targets are up on the board. I can fill you in if needed, but don't bother haggling over the bounties. About the bounty targets... There are 4 targets on the board, but we only have leads for 3. The first one's wanted for fraud. Stop. Save me the spiel for the brand new treasure hunters. I could reel it off just as well as you. You know who I'm here about. The Curatorium wants to get involved? That depends on how the boss is feeling. How did we arrive at you asking questions? Anyway, seems to me the real reason Crackjaw's not been found is the lack of leads. Look at the board. You haven't even said what he looks like. Well, if these treasure hunters set off without even knowing who they're looking for, well, they're hardly a match for someone like Hark. I don't want some novices wasting their time, much less throwing away their lives. Fair point. Apart from the scar on his chin, what else can you tell me about him? Preferably something no one else knows? Something no one else knows? You looking for physical characteristics? Like, say, if he had some marks on his back? That's exactly what I'm looking for. But how do you know so much about him? I don't know squat. I never said he actually has any marks. Besides, even if he does, how are you going to see them? I wonder if he's like in cahoots with Hark. I don't think he is Hark, but I feel like maybe he's in cahoots with him. Well, yeah, sorta. So there's nothing you can tell me? We've always worked well together. Can't you give me anything to work with? After Hark revealed his true nature here in Nashatown, he fled to the north of Lempo Isle and picked up his old life of crime. That's old news. Everyone and their dog knows that. No one's reported seeing him recently. What if he went further north? I could maybe track him to Pyramida, but what if he's made it all the way to Snezhnograd? Nothing but ice and snow up there. I'm not sure if my arm would function in the cold. He hasn't. He's still on Lempo Isle. I just don't know where. You can consider that something no one else knows. Huh. How can you be so certain? Now that's a trade secret. You want to know? You'll have to pay. Stingy. Still, a hulk of a man with a scar on his face. Even on Lempo Isle, they're not hard to find. How am I supposed to know which one's Hark? Well, seeing as how we work together so well, I'll give you some free advice. Don't get too caught up in looking for a scar. Are you saying he's found some way to hide the scar on his chin? I guess that makes sense. If everyone knows you as Crackjaw, walking around with no visible scar on your face would be a pretty good way to hide. In that case, I just need to find someone who's deliberately hiding their jawline, right? Yeah, I clocked who it was the fucking second I found this NPC in 6.0. It's a lead, at least. Alright, if I find anything new, I'll come back and fill you in. I'll wait with bated breath. Isn't it the other spelling of baited? B-A-T-E-D? Huh? Nefa and Yehoda! What are you doing here? Working, of course. We finally found a lead on our unresolved bounty. Yehoda tells you all about the bounty target, Hark the Crackjaw, as well as all the info the Curatorium of Secrets has been able to collect. Let's start with our conclusion. The real hermit, Derwent, is likely dead, and the man living in his hut is the bounty target, Hark the Crackjaw. The diary scraps Yehoda uncovered are enough to show that even though Derwent knew who he was, he still took him in. It shouldn't come as a shock that Hark has returned to his old ways. After dispatching Derwent, he took over the hermit's identity. When I went to investigate, he wouldn't show his face, but no matter how you look at it, there's no way the man in that hut was the real Derwent. Taking on the role of a hermit also means Hark can get up to all sorts of bizarre activities without arousing any real suspicion. The mask he wears clearly has nothing to do with self-cultivation. He's wearing it to hide his scar. As for the missing merchant, the worst case scenario is that he's already dead. How can someone be so evil? Repaying others' kindness with murder. It makes Paimon's blood boil. For what it's worth, I don't think Hark stole those goods from the peripatetic circle. Not enough motive. He'd behaved himself well enough for 10 whole years. Is the price of a few stolen goods really enough to make him throw everything away he'd worked for? I don't believe so. So, let's indulge in a little speculation. We already know that he returned to the wreckage of the Atlas and attacked the treasure hunters who came looking for treasure. When people are in dire straits, they often instinctively return to where it all began. When he was still the helmsman on the Atlas, he had fame, wealth, everything he wanted. But what about once he joined the peripatetic circle? Even after 10 years of good behavior, the second something was stolen, everyone turned their suspicion onto him. What must have stung even more, Yuhani, who was once a pirate, albeit one of significantly less renown, remained free from suspicion. He accused Yuhani there and then, but no one believed him. Driven by disappointment and rage, he made his first mistake. That was the turning point. Whatever went down in that hermit's hut was likely a similar situation. For someone like that, even the smallest of conflicts can blow up into a fatal confrontation. Hey Harley, we can't allow someone as dangerous as that to keep walking around doing bad stuff. Let me deal with this dangerous criminal. Since Harley is so eager, you should get some rest, Yehoda. Alright, I've been working overtime on this investigation. I think I deserve a holiday. As for whether my speculations are correct, we'll find out soon enough. I've not done anything to any of you. It sounds like you already know why we're here. All of that stuff's in the past. I just want to live a peaceful life. A life made from stealing someone else's place? First Yuhani, but that didn't work. So now Derwent. Poor performances never fool the audience for long. There won't be any more victims. Yuhani, you're saying I took his place? It was never his to take. Everything he had, he got by looking nicer, talking nicer. We were the same. Everything he took, it belonged to me. And what about Mr. Derwent and the merchant? What did they do to you? They asked questions they shouldn't have asked. Just like you. So die! Damn, okay.
Defensive mode engaged.
Be silent. Night falls.
Damn, bro's weak as shit.
Close your eyes.
As expected. Just another pathetic soul who can't stop repeating the same mistakes. I have to say, I'm a little disappointed. He stopped himself from doing wrong for so many years, but in the end, does this mean bad people can't mend their ways? It's harder to keep doing good. Every decision was his to make. Even just now, he could have chosen to admit his mistakes, but he chose violence instead. Every move was poorly made, and every one led him to this end. But enough about him. Here's to a job well done. Harley, you can take the bounty proof to Lizek, as arranged. It was great to have you two take the reins. I could have sworn I was on a vacation today. And now that it's over, I think it's about time to get started on your next job. Right, Yehoda?
Here you go, Lady Nefer.
Oh, it's
What you
voice.
were looking for.
Let me see. Would you look at that? Finally, an actual copy of the man who became a mule.
Is that Nefa? Surely she can't be here for a commission.
Yeah, Never doesn't seem like the kind of person who
we
takes
doing?
commissions. More like the kind who dishes them out.
Maybe I should have her give me some easy ones.
Hey, if you start taking work from Nefer, there'll be none left for Yehoda. Still, what sort of job is Nefer delegating to the Adventurers Guild? I'm kind of curious.
Let's ask about it later.
Not bad. This is exactly what I was looking for. The Adventurers Guild must have quite the impressive network tracking down a long-lost story like this.
Well, that's all thanks to our hard-working adventurers. There were quite a few setbacks along the way, but in the end, we managed to find a collector in Snezhnaya who had a copy.
How ironic that a story about the desert would end up somewhere like Snezhnaya. Well, thank you for your efforts. I'll send over the payment as promised. Also, Mr. Sarin, please keep this commission active and raise its priority level. I'll cover the additional fee as well.
Not a problem. It's our honor to do business with you, Lady Nefer. If you'll excuse me, I'll go get everything sorted.
My business is done, you two. You can come out and ask your questions. I know you're curious.
Talk about eagle-eyed.
You even heard what Paimon said? Huh. Guess that's what makes you the boss.
So, you're posting a commission?
Something like that. It's more like a long-term partnership I have with the Adventurers Guild. Come, let's head back to the Curatorium for a cup of tea. This isn't the best place for sharing stories.
Ashru.
Huh. Looks like Yehoda's not back yet. Wait here. I'll go brew some tea.
Okay. Kitty. Pet the kitty. Here, kitty kitty. She's not a dog. Oh, he's not a dog, sorry.
All right, help yourselves. Cream and sugar is over there if you need it. Looks like Ashrew's taken a real liking to you. Back when I first brought him home, he was as fierce as a little lion. He didn't let anyone get close except for me. Anybody else who tried would have his little fangs and claws to contend with.
Seriously? You'd never guess he used to be aggressive.
Oh, the
That was
purr.
a long time ago, when the two of us had just arrived in Nodkrai. Back then, we had no one to rely on but ourselves. And to survive in a place like Nodkrai, we had no choice but to bare our claws and teeth. Of course, things are different now. Anyway, it's about time we satisfied that curiosity of yours. I'm guessing you want to know more about my long-term partnership with the Adventurers Guild?
It must be for something really important.
You mean like some kind of extra special treasure even Nefer can't get her hands on?
It's special, no doubt about that. But whether it counts as treasure, well, that depends on how you see it. Here, this is the book I asked the Adventurers Guild to find for me. Take a look.
The Man Who Became a Mule. Oh my god, this is long. Alright. Strap in, chat. Once upon a time, in Sumeru City, there lived a fool known to all by the name of Ortba, the son of a merchant and a dancer. He was hopeless with numbers and never could keep up at the academia. He was so gullible that he would fall for every trick the merchants used to cheat him. He would believe even in the most absurd lies spun by the clumsiest of charlatans, my dad call, giving away his mora and even shedding tears of pity in the process. It was said that even the most primitive of desert folk were wiser than he. Everyone thought Ortba a fool, but no one knew why. They would laugh and say he was an idiot, a man so hopeless he could earn no living nor make a name for himself. But Ortba's parents and the friends who truly understood him did not care about what the others said. Instead, they would always say, "He is kind from the very bottom of his heart, and that is the highest form of wisdom one can possess." Time passed quickly, like sand being swept away by the wind. A kind friend helped Ortba find a job leading a mule. The work was hard, and the wages were meagre, a burden few could bear for more than a few days. But Ortba took to it with a happy heart, for the mule, with a scar upon its ear, was more genuine and true than anyone else in the whole bazaar. When hunger stirred within it, it would whinny and gently nudge him with its head. Then, when it had its fill of feed, it would close its eyes, lay its head in Ortba's lap, and nicker softly. Never once did it lie to him, and never once did it complain. But one day, a swindler set his sights on the fool and his mule. He was a shameless man, a scoundrel whose name had long been lost to the wind. He made his living by lies and deceit, and with every coin he gained, he sowed only sorrow and anger in the hearts of others. So vile was he, that even the scorpions of the desert kept their distance. It was on a day when Ortba and his mule were carrying goods from the desert that the swindler saw his chance. He followed them quietly from a distance, and waited for Ortba to finish his work. Before he returned to the city, Ortba decided to rest for a while at an oasis. The swindler pounced when Ortba wandered off to pick some fruit. He crept over and stealthily slipped the lead? Probably lead, right? Stealthily slipped the lead rope from around the mule's neck, allowing an accomplice to lead the beast away. The swindler then placed the rope around his own head, crouched low to the ground in the mule's place, and waited for Ortba to return. What? Okay. Ortba, fruit in hand, stopped and stared at the swindler in shock. Yeah, I would be shocked too. "Oh, who are you?" he exclaimed, knowing at once that the man crouching before him was certainly not his four-legged friend. I would hope that he knew that at once. I would so hope that he knew that. "I am a swindler," the crook confessed, his voice thick with feigned sobs. I was a man without a single moral in his bones, a wretch wicked and despicable. To make money, I told countless lies, caused harm to countless people, and even deceived my own mother. To punish me, my mother went into the desert and, with her very own tears, pleaded with Al-Ahmar to teach me how to be good. So Al-Ahmar turned me into a mule to silence me and make me pay for my foul deeds through my actions instead. I would only become a human again when I learned how to truly be a good person. Ortber listened to the swindler's lies. As the swindler wept crocodile tears, Ortber shed real ones of his own. How sad! But you've turned back into a human, so you must now be a good man. Ortber jumped up with delight and took the swindler's hands in his own. He then placed all the fruit he was carrying into the swindler's hands. You are my friend. I have watched you drink with your head in my lap and sleep by my side. I have love for you, and it makes my heart happy that you have become a truly good person. Go back to your mother. I am sure she still loves you and is shedding tears for you right now. Go back and take this fruit with you. She'll be so happy to see you. Holding the fruit in his hands, the swindler felt his throat, which had told countless lies and other foul things, choke up with sand. But he simply nodded his head and, in his mind, told himself, What a fool, what a fool. Only a complete fool would be taken in like that. Once the swindler had gone, Ortber picked up the rope, his heart filled with joy. He ran back to the city, eager to share the story of his mule with his friends. One of Ortber's friends, a mercenary, turned crimson with rage as he listened to this tale. The powerfully built man sprang to his feet, his hand flashing to the hilt of his sword as he exploded. That stinking lowlife! He fooled you! He took advantage of your kindness for a few coins! Tell me his name. I'll tear that rat's tongue out myself, so he can never lie to another good man like you. Despite his friend's indignant fury, the smile never left Ortber's face. He gently guided the mercenary's hand from the hilt of his sword to his cup, which he then filled with mead. I am moved that you are angry for my sake, but the way I see it, what happened was a good thing. If his words are true, then there is one less villain in this world to be punished. And in his place, there is one more person who has learned the meaning of repentance and regained their morals. If what he said was a lie, then there is one less person in this world who would cheat his own mother, and one less tearful mother who had no choice but to curse her child. Another friend, who had already built a reputation for himself at the academia, interjected. Ortber, I admire your kindness. It is a wisdom that humanity so grievously lacks, yet holds in the deepest contempt. But the wicked must be held to account, lest the virtuous be exploited with impunity. While I believe the swindler should first face due judgment, principles be damned. He has committed a grave affront against my friend, and for that alone he deserves to be lashed. Sensing his friend's frustration, Ortber paused. He raised the jug of mead and filled his friend's cups, but his fiercely loyal friends remained silent. Their brows were furrowed, as if a whirlwind of sand and dust was swirling around them, carving countless ravines and valleys from their features. Then suddenly, another friend burst through the door of the tavern, shouting, Hey! I just saw that mule with a scar on its ear! It's right here in the bazaar! Hearing this, the mercenary gulped down his mead in one go, and then shouted, All right, looks like the rat has left a trail. If we follow it, we're bound to catch him. Ortber, his friends by his side, rushed to the bazaar. And sure enough, there stood the mule, right in the middle of the marketplace. Ortber was filled with shock, and he ran toward the creature as if he had something to say. The mercenary was already asking around for the mule's seller, but the scholar, who knew all too well what Ortber was like, held on to his sleeve gently, trying to stop him from doing anything too strange, like talking to the mule. But Ortber softly patted the scholar's hand, then bent over nonetheless to whisper, Why have you become a mule again? Did you lie to your mother and break her heart once more? You'll have a hard time with someone else. Listen, I'll buy you back and take you with me. Don't say a word until then. Otherwise, I may not be able to pay your price. Just as Ortber was counting the mora in his pocket, a hand came to rest on his shoulder. The hand belonged to a man with tan skin and eyes like pure gold. He gave a slight squint as he said gently, I am the owner of this mule. Do you want to buy it? Yes, I want to buy it. He is my friend. In fact, he... Ortber looked down and stopped himself from telling the rest of the story. He believed the man would not want the world to know what he had done. I can't sell it to you right now. Besides, the man reached for another rope from behind him and handed it over to Ortber. This is your faithful friend, my dear Ortber. Take it home with you. Huh. Ortber stared at the animal in surprise. It had a scar on its ear, just like the first one. The mule, recognizing its longtime companion, nudged Ortber with its head, and Ortber responded by ruffling its mane. But what? This mule looks just like my friend, said the astonished Ortber, wondering how one man could have turned into two mules, and just what grave sin he must have committed to receive such punishment. Yes, he's also your friend, said the tanned man with a smile, but he has committed a crime, so I am punishing him by turning him into a dumb mule so that he may never speak again. Ortber blinked for a moment and realized who the man with the rope was, but his thoughts were only of the friend he had once rescued, who was now on the wrong path again. But what crime did he commit? Did he lie to his mother again? Ortber asked sadly. No, but the crime he committed is 100 times greater than that, the man answered. He betrayed a rare kindness, and so he shall never be saved by another's kindness again. Ortber had more questions, but before he could ask them, his vision was obscured by a sandstorm that came out of nowhere. When it cleared, the man was gone, but in his place were his friends, who had found their way to him and were now asking where the swindler had gone. Ortber told them sadly, he made another mistake and was turned into a mule. I hope this time he will have another chance to turn a new leaf. With the rope in his hand, Ortber turned for home alongside his friends. Along the way, he thought, I need to make more money. Goodness knows how much I'll need to buy him the next time I see him. Interesting.
Oh, it's like a fairy tale from Sumeru.
Is this some kind of riddle hidden inside?
Uh-oh, not another riddle-filled treasure hunt. Well, have fun. Someone's gonna sit this one out.
Relax. It's just a story passed down among the desert dwellers of Sumeru. There's no secret treasure and no hidden riddles. The only reason I went to such lengths to find it is because it has to do with my father.
Your father?
That's right. From what you've seen before, you no doubt remember the fate that befell us. Before he brought back those so-called spoils of war, before our little village ended up buried under the desert sands, he used to tell me stories. You know what Sumeru was like back then. Tales like these, stories full of wisdom and warmth, were something only the lucky few living in the rainforests got to hear. But for the desert dwellers, cut off from civilization by the wall of Samiel, wisdom and warmth were luxuries we couldn't afford. The stories passed down in the desert had one purpose and one alone: to teach children how to survive.
Makes sense.
In desert tales, people who waste food get turned into scorpions. Those who waste water end up losing their tongues. The stories taught us to be kind, but to be scarce with our trust. To lie and deceive as long as we didn't get caught. But I suppose my father didn't want me to turn out like everyone else. He would take these stories and change them. Imbue them with more warmth. In the versions he told, liars turned into mules, killers fell off cliffs, but picky children ended up with a toothache at most.
Paimon kinda gets where he was coming from. After all, who doesn't want to see their kids grow up with the right values?
So what did you think of those stories, Nefa?
Me? I couldn't get enough of them. I'd spend my days counting down the minutes to nightfall, when Dad would lull me to sleep with another one of his stories. Then, come daytime, I'd grab his storybook and go tell them to the other kids. They were so envious of me. No matter where I went, there was always a line of kids trailing behind me. They would do whatever I asked, just for the chance to hear a story. And then, one day, it all came to an end. And now, all that remains of those times is buried under the sand. My father, my friends, my tribe, and all those stories too. After that, I went to the academia. It was there that I first discovered the original versions of some of his stories. In those versions, the liars were never punished. The murderers walked free. After all, if you fall for a lie, you deserve to be deceived. If the blade is in your hand, you get to write the rules. And picky children? They ended up just like the ones who wasted water, turned into lizards, doomed to spend the rest of their days crawling under the rocks. Only then did I realize that it was my father who'd been deceiving me all along, weaving a false world of warmth to shelter me from the harsh realities of the world.
I think that's
But once my
natural
father
as a
was
parent.
gone, that world collapsed with him. And I had no choice but to face the truth. Luckily, though, I was a quick learner. Before long, I'd turned into exactly the kind of desert dweller he'd worked so hard to keep me from becoming. After that, it was all lies, deceit, revenge, and ruin. Themes that have played out in the desert 1,000 times over. But I'm sure you know that all too well.
So the reason you started collecting these stories was to find out what the originals were really like?
More or less. I just want to know exactly how many lies a father might tell his own daughter. As the only person in this world he ever deceived so completely, I suppose I owe it to him to make an equally comprehensive record of his distortions. Besides, anonymity seems a cruel fate for such a prolific twister of the truth.
But he
Anyway,
they were white lies.
I'm sure Thoth, the Ibis King, would approve of what I'm doing. After all, he was the one who sent me in search of something that could discern truth from falsehood. When I was young, the stories my father told me shaped my understanding of the world. Whereas their original endings, well, they taught me what this world is really like. And it's true. For me, they really did help me discern truth from falsehood. I figured that gathering them up might be the key to finding the answer the Ibis King was looking for. So, after I established myself in Nodkrai, I started using every available channel to track down the stories my father once told me. The problem was, nearly all of them were folk tales, parables passed down in the desert through word of mouth. Very few were ever written down. But living all the way out here in Nodkrai, it wasn't like I could just go wandering around the desert to find those who still remembered them. As for Yehoda, well, I was short on manpower as it was, so I needed a different plan. And considering the countless adventurers at their disposal, I decided to strike up a long-term partnership with the Adventurers Guild. They bring me stories passed down among the desert people. I pay them accordingly, and sometimes even do them a little favor in return.
Important
Mr. Soren
archival
was more
work,
than
really.
happy with my terms, so we soon came to an understanding. And from the way things have been going, I'd say our arrangement has worked out rather well.
So what's special about the story you just got your hands on?
Well, this was the very last story my father ever told me. The only one whose ending he left unchanged. A man who
Interesting.
spent his life distorting the truth. Buried under the desert sand, the one time he chose not to lie. And look, it even says, deep down, his was a heart of gold. And that is the greatest wisdom of all. How ironic is that? Anyway, I can make a copy of this story if you're interested. And I just realized, you're an adventurer too. aren't you, traveler?
Yeah, I am.
Well, being an adventurer means you've traveled far and wide and seen many things. I was just thinking, we could sign an agreement for a long-term partnership of our own.
Okay.
If you ever come across any stories about the desert dwellers of Sumeru, bring them to me, and I'll make it worth your while.
Wait, was that your goal this whole time? Just to ask us that?
Well, taking commissions is what I do, so okay.
Wonderful. Then here's to a long and fruitful partnership. And speaking of partnerships, why isn't Yehoda back yet? Was that job I gave her really that difficult?
Well, if it isn't our regulars. Here to invest again, are we? I'd like an investment coupon, please. Here you go. 2,000 mora per coupon, with each investment tenure maturing weekly. Trust me, this is a surefire investment. Lady Nefer, I never imagined you'd grace my humble stall. Have you come to buy an investment coupon too? Oh no, I'll pass. I'm just here with my friend to have a look around. I've heard your investments have been thriving, Mr. Dabit. Seeing it with my own eyes, I can see the rumor holds true. Oh, it's nothing. Just a small venture to make ends meet. Will this really yield high returns, I wonder? Well, that's just the nature of investing. Some you win, some you lose. But at least you won't need to worry about being swindled. Mr. Dabit is an excellent businessman after all. Follow his lead and you won't lose. Right, Mr. Dabit? Yes, you're right. An honest merchant I am. Naturally. Well then, let's see how my luck holds today. Oh, right. I was just about to congratulate you. Remember the investment coupon you bought last time? You made quite a tidy profit on that one. That's a shifty expression you got there. You didn't just make all that up, did you? Hey, I swear it's true. You got sharp business senses, Harley. Here's your investment return. Have a wonderful day. Well, making money is always a good thing, I suppose. Really? Then Paimon wants one shaped like a little bird. That's Paimon's favorite. Then I'll take my leave as well. Like I said, Mr. Dabit, you've truly lived up to your reputation. An honest merchant through and through. May your business prosper. Thank you for the kind words, Lady Nefer. And about that matter I asked your help with last time. We've found what you're looking for, but do have patience, Mr. Dabit. One step at a time. That's how proper business is done. Yes, you're right, of course. I'll leave it in your capable hands. Lady Nefer, what a coincidence. You've come at just the right time. You've made up your mind, then? Huh? Made up my mind? What do you mean? Could it be... I know you've always wanted to visit the Frostmoon Scions. You hope to get acquainted with Liliki first, and use that friendship as your stepping stone. You knew it all along? But I've kept it locked in my heart and barely told anyone. Well, Mr. Zompenko, when you guard a secret, you must also learn to hide the fact that you're guarding one. Otherwise, no matter how tall a wall you build in your heart, sooner or later the wind will find its cracks. I was never very good at keeping my feelings bottled up, even back when I was still in my hometown. Well, now that you know, could you help me make an introduction? I'm an outsider, and I don't want to intrude on Miss Liliki. Rest assured, the Frostmoon Scions are exceptionally gracious. Whether one arrives as a stranger, or in a form not entirely human, they will extend a warm and courteous welcome. Huh, is that so? But still, it wouldn't be proper to just barge in. Lady Nefer, could you introduce me? Alright, judging by the time, they should have just finished distributing the meals. Perfect timing for a chat. Let's go. By the way, no charge this time. I was just passing by anyway. That's not like her. Oh, thank you so much. I'll go get my things right away. Lady Nefer? And Mr. Zompenko, what brings you here? Our Natlanese guest here has expressed interest in visiting the Frostmoon Scions. But out of courtesy, he'd prefer someone to introduce him. Well then, Mr. Zompenko, the floor is yours. Greetings, Miss Liliki. It's such a pleasure to meet you. I brought this fossil specimen from Natlan along. Is it Liliki? Liliki? I don't know. Thank you, Mr. Zompenko. We've already met, haven't we? You really don't need to be so formal. Huh? Then how did you notice me? You've always been there when I was distributing meals, haven't you? Wandering around the lines, circling back and forth, but never stepping in. I thought you might want a serving, but were too shy to say so I quietly set a portion aside for you. But you've never came around to claim one. In fact, you hadn't shown up today. I was going to ask someone to check and see if you need help or something like that. I'm so sorry. I've been hesitating, trying to figure out how to say hello. So, Miss Liliki, would it be alright if I paid the Frostmoon Scions a visit? Of course. We've welcomed a few guests from outside before, but may I ask why? I'd like to take some photos and notes, look through some records, and, if possible, ask someone about the local legends. I'm a member of Natlan's Saurian Relics Association. If I could find materials connected to my research, that would be invaluable. I see. So you're hoping to spend some time in the archives, then? Let me think. Well, now that the two of you have been properly introduced, my task here is done. I'll take my leave. Thank you, Lady Nefer, but I really must pay you for your trouble. It would be wrong to have you make this trip for nothing. As you wish, Mr. Zompenko. She's like, yeah, all right then. Then I'll be off. Have yourself a pleasant conversation. Hello, Flins.
Just let me know if you need anything.
Thank you for remembering my request, Master Tarno. I will be sure to treasure this pocket watch.
There's no need to stand on ceremony, Mr. Flins. If I may be so bold, I'd say this watch is fortunate to have ended up in the hands of someone as discerning as yourself.
Even if that someone turned up to collect it half a month late because he needed more time to get the money.
Damn, Flins
I
is
do
broke
hope
for
it
real.
won't miss the finer life and flee back to your shop in the middle of the night.
Such a wonderful sense of humor. Even if it wished to escape, I doubt it would get far with a ratnik such as yourself on its tail. Here, I've already wrapped it. It's yours.
My thanks again, dear Master Tarno. Perhaps we can have a drink in the flagship when you're next free.
It would be my pleasure, Mr. Flins.
Bought yourself a new shiny then?
You could say so. This pocket watch cost me half a month's salary.
Damn.
I suppose that means no more fine liquor for me for the next 2 weeks.
I'm sure I could treat you to a drink.
In that case, I should paraphrase Master Tarno just now and say, my pleasure, Miss Traveler. I look forward to your invitation.
Hey there, little dear. Want some midsummer berries? I just picked these.
Oh, and they're all gone. Yes, it really did like him. What are you doing?
Hey there, Harley. We're, on an outing. And we meet this deer on our trip. It's super cute. Hey, little dear. Can Harley, Kari, and I touch you? If you're okay with it, just nod. Kari, it really can hear what I say. Thelma's right. Deer really are clever. There. That's a good deer. No. It's coming closer. That's so cute. Here you go. Have these lacquerberries too. Eat them slowly now. If only I could understand animal speech just like Thelma can.
If I could do that, I would never have to sit by myself and just do nothing. Come on, Kari. Didn't I say I'd play with you all day tomorrow? I've even prepared a ton of toys. It'll be great. Thank you, but I still get scared when I sleep alone at night. Oh yeah, didn't we pick up an injured Puffin the other day? Didn't your parents let you keep it at home? Yeah, but its injury is already healed. Granny Soraka said that nature is an animal's true home, and that keeping it indoors all day might do it harm. But I couldn't bear to see it leave, so I left it over there. I thought that if it didn't fly away, then, you know, maybe it wanted to stay and be my friend. But then, when I woke up, it was gone. Oh, come on, don't be sad. Maybe that little Puffin just went to its parents to tell them that it's well. Maybe it'll come back to see you once it gets permission to. Hold on, isn't that a Puffin? Oh. See, that Puffin could be one of its family members, for all we know. But we don't, Ina. I am not Miss Llama. All Puffins look the same to me. There's no way I could tell them apart unless they could talk. But see, they're all Puffins, right? I'm sure they know each other, so let's just ask it to help us find that little Puffin. Exactly, couldn't hurt to ask. Here, take some midsummer berries and go feed it. Okay. Well, please, Mr. Puffin, or Miss Puffin, if you know the little Puffin who was staying at my place. I'm getting all turned around now, aren't I? Still, I miss that Puffin a lot. If you know it, could you ask it to come back and see me? No response. Did it not like these berries? I can go fetch a different kind. Just a moment. Hey, don't fly away. Please don't go. I still have something to tell you. It didn't fly away. Perhaps we might find someone who could help them communicate. Kari and Ina are trying their best to communicate with the Puffin, but it's not working. Perhaps if we had someone here who could understand animal speech? Ina, Kari, allow me to pass the message on your behalf. Miss Thalma! Well, we wouldn't want to trouble you. Granny Soraka says you're always busy, so it'd be best not to disturb you with small stuff like this. Don't worry. I do happen to be free at the moment. And yes, I did hear what you said. In which case, allow me to ask this Puffin if it recognizes your friend. Dear child, do you know the little Puffin Ina and Kari took care of previously? Friend! No, yes! At home! Too long away! Danger! Papa, Mama, worried. Papa, Mama, stopped it from leaving. I see. Ina, it seems your deduction was spot on. Your friend is currently stuck at home, getting an earful from its parents for being away for too long. Wow, you're pretty smart, Ina. I do read a lot of books normally, you know. Friend, good. Friend, want to see. Come to home. Hurry to home. It seems this Puffin says that your friend also misses you. It can't go outside right now, but you could go be its guest instead. Huh? Could we? But I don't even know where it lives. And if we're out of doors for too long, we'll be the ones getting scolded by our parents. Lady Llama, allow me to escort the two children. It is not too far to go from here. A round trip shall not even take half a day. It is no ill deed to help old friends meet again. I'll lead the way. I fly high. I know the shortcuts. What are they saying, Llama? It would seem that your previous concerns have been resolved. This Puffin is willing to take you to see your friend, and this deer wishes to escort you there and back again. Wow, really? Is that true, Miss Llama? Is it? Of course it is. Have I ever lied to you? Oh, that's great. Thank you. And thank you too.
Easy peasy. Leave it to me, see.
Of wholesome heart and polite these children are. Lady Llama, they shall be safe with us. I shall be counting on you two then. Please come to the library once your task is done. I have a gift for you. You are most welcome, Lady Llama. There is no need for such decorum when aiding family.
I want to eat fruit. So does he. I want to eat fruit. So does he. He wants some too, but he won't say.
In that case, I shall prepare the sweetest of fruits for you both. Come, Ina, Kari. When you hop on, be sure to sit tight. Don't look up as you pass through the woods, and don't reach out your hands. Just stay low and stay seated, alright?
Okay, Miss Dharma.
Ina and Kari climb atop the Reinhorndir's back, afterward the Puffin begins flying. I hope you have a wonderful time, dear children.
All 15 samples have been collected and encased in low-temperature vessels. 2 layers, 1 metal, 1 ceramic, ready to be shipped tonight.
Ah, she's one of Yelan's people. Interesting. I did think this NPC was kind of sus.
Take them to the Flower Feather Clan via express ship. From there, get them on priority shipping using the courier's Blue Bolt service. Once they reach the northern edge of the Children of Echoes, transfer them to another boat that'll go east and arrive at Elong Wharf through a special customs checkpoint. Speed is of the essence.
What the
Got
fuck?
it. A combination of Plan B3 and Plan C2, then.
Hi!
It's the Traveler. How did you do that? It's like you just appeared right there without even making the slightest noise.
Don't be nervous. Just treat her like she's your boss. Interesting timing. Traveler, meet Cyro. She's with us.
Cyro.
I'll leave you
I like
to
that.
it then.
Pronunciation.
Miss Yelan, I'll ensure everything is arranged to your specifications.
Are these important cargo?
They're plant and mineral samples containing Kuvaki. I'm sending them back to Liua for the Ministry of Civil Affairs to analyze.
And that needs to be done in secret?
Nothing escapes you. There are also some pictures relating to the Fatui among these samples. These show their research facilities, their current weaponry, and the distribution of their camps. Liua is a long way from nodkrai, but it never hurts to be prepared.
She has intel about Project Stooja, I bet. So that's why you're here?
It's one of the reasons. But I'm also here to purchase some intel from Nefer, boss of the Curatorium of Secrets. Dealing with her always requires a lot of preparation, both mental and financial.
Nefer has information about Liu?
Have you ever heard of the Northern Intelligence Network?
I like how it's like, what's that? As if we didn't do the Archon quest. What's that?
It's essentially a forum for intel exchange. A loosely structured organization with no real rules or regulations. But you can find well-connected people from all walks of life there who are willing to trade information, as long as you can pay their price. Nefer currently represents this Northern Intelligence Network, and the Curatorium she operates is its primary point of sale. If intel was all they sold, that would be one thing. But it's said the network has spies planted in every region, and that they're always on the lookout for even more informants.
Even in Liu?
In no small part thanks to the efforts of my colleagues, the network's tendrils have been unable to take hold in Liua. It doesn't matter if they send official representatives or smuggle in spies. They are met with a polite but firm rejection every time. I imagine that we must be one of the very few unknowns remaining on their map of the world.
Yet she's still willing to sell you intel?
Business is business, and Mora talks. She's not one to say no to a big bag of coins. Other factors notwithstanding, I'm a valuable customer. The Northern Intelligence Network has plenty of information that only I'm willing to buy.
Wait. You said I'm a valuable customer?
Well done for picking up on my phrasing. You're getting good at finding clues. Up until now, all of my dealings with the network have been of a personal nature. The Ministry has nothing to do with it.
She's willing to deal with willing to deal with you?
Of course. Let's just say I have lots of influence.
And by influence, you mean...
Mora.
She's like,
Lots
I'm
and
rich,
lots
bro.
of Mora. More than enough to influence dear Lady Nefer.
And that's the Yelan I know.
With someone like her, it's better to spend a little Mora than to end up owing a favor.
Yep.
It's important to remain vigilant in your dealings with her. She's not an easy person to deal with. If you ever see us together, chances are we're conducting business. If you have any trust in me at all, then cover your ears and stay out of it. That'll save you a whole world of trouble. Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. I still have some preparations to make. Goodbye for now.
This seems like it should have come before the anecdote between her and Nefer.
Traveler, before I go, if you don't mind me saying, you may wish to return to Liyue for a cup of tea. Even if stray winds blow, the mountains of Liyue should shield you while you drink.
What the fuck does that mean? Huh. There's just fucking more on the floor? Oh wait, white weasel thief. Oh. I've never seen a weasel thief this white before. Do you think it might be ill? It was full of energy just now. It even tried to snatch some food from Yerva. It doesn't seem sick to me. Maybe it's a rare species? Linnea might know. Whoa, it's the Mora thief who emptied Paimon's secret stash. Oh yeah, this was a side quest I think I did off stream from last patch. Weasel thief tries to run away, but the three kids are lightning fast. They pin it down, and after a short struggle, it gives up. You take the chance to explain what happened. You can't just ask a weasel why they're so white. So this isn't the first time it's done this? In that case, the fuck? Looks dead. In that case, we've got to teach it a lesson. Do something wrong and you get punished. That's only fair, right? But it's just an animal. It doesn't understand what's right and wrong. As long as it gives Paimon her Mora back, that's enough for me. Anyway, let's get Paimon her Mora back first. It's not like the weasel can spend it, so it should all still be there. Yay! Paimon's secret stash is back in business. I wish we could keep it. That way, when Helka comes back, we can show her a rare weasel thief. Huh? But it's not like we can put it to work. Stealing doesn't count. Why should it get free food for nothing? Okay, but what should we do with it? Let's figure that out with Katia later.